Hello everybody, I'm Creating on Earth and I'd like to welcome you to my new YouTube channel. I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing, but I've just been having this feeling or calling which has been relentless. Something like on a daily basis for the last few months. Um, Not in a nagging sort of way, but just like a gentle reminder about being able to share some of the content that I have inside of me, floating around my mind, the feeling in my heart when I hear different topics, and also the despair that is within our world at the moment. Some of the people that I see during my other working life, um, they have so much trauma and weight on their shoulders that they just keep burying themselves in the daily grind just to not think about it. And I think there's got to be another way. There has to be another way for people to live. It cannot be like this. And that incessant feeling of needing to share this is what sparked this channel. So I'm not one to do public speaking, so this is probably the most comfortable forum for me in that I can freely speak and not feel like I'm being judged in any way. So I hope you enjoy the content, and if it's meant for you, you would already be here. And I suppose time is just a constraint of Earth, and you may stumble across this video when it's meant to be. So I welcome you at any point and to share this journey with me or together. So I just want to talk about the setup that I have here. I've got quite a few clashing colours at the moment, or it could have some flow-on effect from each, because there are colours that you can pick from each piece of fabric. These were actually hand painted and given to my children for a competition that won. So it's very organic and it's made by Indigenous people, which is beautiful. So it brings a lot of good energy in the terms of things made from heart. And most of the topics that we're going to talk about is about being very close to the heart and how we navigate through life using our heart, and how to recognize what life is really all about. So I've also got quite a few different crystals here, and like I said, crystals are a form of raw energy, and they have different properties which I can go into at a later date. But I've created this area which is a sacred space for us to hold this conversation, this discussion, and we've brought in the elements of fire. We've got sacred water as well, and that's from a very special lake that's fed by an ancient aquifer in the southern part of the world. And we've also got earth, which is these crystals that came out from the earth. We've got some raw geode form and some polished points as well. So I really value the opportunity to be able to create this sacred space for all of us. My discussion points is very informal. I tend to freely speak, and I'm not much of an orator, so I think I can convey more messaging in writing But I feel that during this point in time, and where people are at the moment, including myself, being able to hear something rather than casting your eyes over text is much easier to be able to multitask and be able to do different things at once. So if you're listening as a podcast, then this is great. This is a great option. I've also got the video because sometimes I'm able to describe what I see or the concepts that I'm trying to convey in a drawing form. I'm not a very good drawer, but I see things in pictures, feelings, and it's sometimes very hard to actually verbally describe it. So do the things that scare you. So this is very scary for me anyway. So stepping up onto the world stage, albeit somewhat anonymous, and being able to share my ideas in a way that I don't feel as judged. I suppose there will be comments, etc., but that's for others to choose. But my prerogative here is really to share my feelings and thoughts with you, and in the hopes that it might be able to help some people. So if it helps you, this is great. This is what the purpose is for. And the intent of the messaging today is really to continue to cast hope for humanity, to be able to tell everyone that they have the power to manifest whatever they want within their reality, and they have the power to choose how you feel. That's so important. And some of the lessons that I have learned along the way, and I am still learning them, I'm willing to share, because I know that in the last 2 years that I have led with my heart, it has brought joy to people. And I did sit and self-doubt a lot and wondered if what I was doing in terms of passing some of these messages to the one-on-one people that I see, is what I'm doing wrong? Is what I'm doing harmful in any way? And the reaction from people, the joy, the tears, and the continued synchronicities, and the good feelings we get, it feels really good. And for me, having analyzed it multiple times in a logical type of way, I know that the answer is really from the heart. And when you're speaking to someone from your heart and soul, without any intention of your mind getting into the way or any logic or judgment, I know that it is of the highest good when you do that. So that's what I'm going to share with you, is how to move into the heart space, because I did not know how to do that, or really understood, or perhaps I wasn't ready at that time. And maybe it's your time. So the first topic I wanted really to talk about, just to ground everything, is that we are here on earth right now, as you know, because I am too. I'm in this reality with you all, and that we live in a dimension, which is sinusoidal. So this is a sine wave. It goes up and it goes down and up and down and up and down. And it's very similar to kind of electromagnetic frequency waves, AC/DC, things that go up and things that go down. And it also represents yin and yang, duality. So you may have heard of the phrase, as above, so below. And I didn't really understand that at all until I don't know, I downloaded that information somehow, or it came to me, where on this particular dimension, it's meant to go up and it's meant to go down. So when you have feelings of happiness followed by sadness and then happiness, for the longest time I wondered if I was manic depressive in some way, to go through such ups and downs, or feeling happy and then worry, anxious, depressed, and then kind of pick myself up again and then go down again. And it was out of sheer experience and feeling those ups and downs, and then learning about our dimension being third dimensional, whatever that means, right? Which we can go to explain in more detail in a further video. But the ups and downs are normal for this earth. Normal as in it's part of the construct of earth, is a sine wave, is a sinusoid, and the duality, because on this earth, in this dimension, we have duality. We have good versus bad, or up versus down, black versus white. So there is two sides. I will explain a little bit more about good and bad in subsequent texts, but the sinusoid is for us to experience duality. We can experience feelings of happiness and sadness, and the dark versus the light, and it's all there, not because it's bad, but because it allows us to experience both sides. So if we're always constantly happy and nothing comes along to challenge that and for us to overcome it, how would we even know what happiness really was until we experience another form, another feeling, another emotion other than that, for us to be able to compare it? So being on earth and having that duality is not a bad thing. It is part of the construct, it's part of what we are meant to experience. And I don't claim to know what the meaning of life is, because that will be different for everybody. But the fundamentals of what I have been learning is that being on earth here is all about experience. It's all about having those experiences of joy, of sadness, of whatever we choose to create while we're on this earth. So in the past, in my experience, there was a period of great darkness, of the spiraling deep hole of which it was very difficult to pull myself out of. And you were just there. It's like you are so tired, but you know that at the end you only have to pull yourself out of that pool before you drown, but you just don't have that energy and you couldn't get yourself out, that hopeless, overwhelming feeling. But you can change it. You can change it, because if you want it, you can change it, and you can manifest and create your reality as you want it. And perhaps if you're going through that right now, is so that you can experience that, so that when you do go back up again, you will have total appreciation of what it was like being down. And I realize that now, having had experience the most melancholy feeling that you could feel in the depths of your soul to now being able to choose what I want to feel, because we have full mastery of it. I'm going to show you how I do it anyway, and it may be different to how you do it, and that's completely fine. It's not about how I do it or how you choose to do it. And by doing it, I'm meaning by just being, by choosing how you feel. That's what the journey of life is all about. So perhaps there are some tips and practical ways that you can tell yourself in order to manage a situation or an event or an emotion, and it might work for you or it might not, but by leading you to show you that you do have the power to choose that, perhaps it will give you some hope and guidance to do it on your own from thereafter. I'm merely the conduit. I'm really the piece within that puzzle to help you along the way, not to lead you to do it this way or that way, but to do it your way. That's how it's meant to be, and this is how I'm doing it my way. And perhaps some of those things may integrate into your way as well if you see fit. So I want to just stop there for now and think about the next topic that we're going to discuss in more detail. I really appreciate you listening so far, and hope it helps you as much as it's helping me to explain it really to myself. I find that when I'm teaching something, I learn the most because I'm able to explain it not only to others but also to myself, and having verbalized it out in the open and talking about it in a way that makes sense to me helps me absorb some of the information also. So I really appreciate this opportunity, and I wish you all the best. So I'll speak to you next time.